the sex education resources. And I think your answer didn't actually face up to the content of the RSHP resources. I mean, just to go through a few of the things very, very quickly. I mean, right at the beginning of primary school, teaching that sex is assigned at birth and gender is a subjective factor. I think that's a very dangerous and confusing message for young people, and yet that's what's delivered to all children in Scottish schools. The sex education materials, I'm sorry to have to talk about these things, but this is what is being taught in schools. Masturbation is positively promoted in schools. In high schools, licking the anus.
Remember that we are going live out here. This is
okay. If this this is what's being taught in schools. If this is not suitable to talk about with a group of adults, how can it possibly be suitable to talk about in schools? Yes, on the internet. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So to continue, I'm not going to be stopped. So that's presented as a perfectly valid sexual practice. Anal sex is illustrated by a video of a banana being dipped into Nutella and then withdrawn. Pornography, Right, pornography. No, I'm going to say here, this is what's being taught in schools. Pornography is not just taught about, it is positively promoted in these materials. It is positively promoted as something beneficial and helpful. Different genres of pornography are also recommended to pupils. Such as, again, my question very soon.
Please.
I'm just referring to the resources. Mr. Swinney says he's watched them. I'm just pointing out what's in them. For example, it's recommended that pupils explore, for example, facial pornography, which involves ejaculation onto the face. I think it's disgusting. It talks about. Okay, what I'm talking about is what's being taught in schools. And if I'm about to get to a question, if I haven't been silent, I'm trying to speak up on behalf of innocents and youth in our schools that's been corrupted by these materials. I will not be silenced.
What's the question?
And my question is...
I'm not asking you to be silenced, but please.
Well, where's the microphone then?
If you'll ask your question.
I'll ask my question.
Nobody's going to get the microphone up yet, but please.
Okay, this situation here. Okay, this situation. I am outlining the question. Please. I am outlining the contents of the Scottish Government sex education resources. That's what I have done. I will now ask my question. My question to Mr. Swinney. These materials are not educational, they're corrupting of children. And my question is, having heard some of the detail of the content, I now invite you to re-endorse them, reaffirm your endorsement of them as you did earlier on.
And you asked me to express my commendation for the materials. I repeat my commendation for the materials here.
That was me challenging John Swinney a few years ago when he was the Education Secretary. And in that role, he introduced new sex education resources for Scotland at rshp.scot. And that was me in the video challenging John Swinney about the content of them. And John Swinney in response said he had watched the videos, he had looked at the materials, and he approved of them, he endorsed them. So I'm now going to show you some clips from these sex education resources. Some of them might have changed a bit since then, but these are the ones that he was endorsing at the time. And almost all of them are still in use in schools across Scotland as recommended by the Scottish Government. Now, as you watch this, think to yourself, this man who is personally responsible for the sexualisation, confusion and corruption of countless school children across Scotland is about to be re-elected as First Minister.
At the end of the day, masturbation is a safe and healthy activity, so put on some music, light those candles, and have yourself a good night. Researchers have actually documented penetrative vaginal intercourse by getting 8 couples to perform missionary sex in an MRI tube. This study revealed that during intercourse, 2/3 of the erect penis is pendulous and moved upwards at an angle of about 120 degrees from the root of the penis. Though all of the men orgasmed in this experiment, none of the women did, which isn't uncommon. A survey of over 1,400 women found that only 21 to 30% of women experienced an orgasm during intercourse that was not assisted by extradigital or oral stimulation. Oral sex on women can provide direct stimulation to the clitoris. There's also anal sex, which is the insertion of a penis or dildo into a partner's rectum. Though it's the primary form of sex among gay men, its popularity has surged among straight couples. A 2008 survey found that 44% of straight men and 36% of straight women have had anal sex. Your anus and surrounding area have a lot of nerve endings, including the pudendal nerve, which controls muscles in your external anal sphincter and carries sensations to the anus, penis, and clitoris. In men, penetration can stimulate the glandular organ known as the prostate. Though there's no published laboratory research, anecdotal evidence suggests that prostate orgasms are more powerful and pleasurable than penile-induced ones. For women, anal penetration can stimulate the perineal sponge, which sits between the vaginal opening and rectum, so pressure can result in pleasure and orgasm.
Hey you, my name is Thomas Ridgell, and pornography is as fun to watch as it is hard to forget. So much flesh. The whole purpose of pornography is to arouse us, to get us sexually excited, and that's great because using your actual imagination is hard work. Porn is great to watch while we're getting intimate with ourselves because it doesn't just turn us on, it also distracts us from how stupid we look while we're doing it.
We all deserve a safe, pleasurable, and awesome sex life. The more respect you show to the other person, the more they'll trust you enough to relax and enjoy.
If you want to see more than straight white people getting it on, you might have to be a little more specific. There are plenty of types of porn, including but not limited to softcore, hardcore, lesbian, thespian, interracial, facial,
Asking for consent can actually be kind of sexy.
Want to show me your bedroom?
Show me where you want me to touch you.
Do you want to help me take these clothes off? I'm gonna take your shirt off.
Want to try something different?
What the f?
Unlike porn stars, only 11.5% of women have had a same-sex experience. And only 40% of women have tried anal. Just 22% say they'll take a hot load in the face. And only 30% will actually swallow said load. The portion of women who've been in a threesome is less than 20%. And while the internet is awash in female squirters, only 6% of women say they regularly gush forth. Finally, what about light bondage? Well, only 40% have tried it. Wait, that's actually quite a lot.
So, we've been hanging out a lot lately.
Yeah, we have.
I think I'm starting to really like you.
Yeah? Me too.
Want to make out?
Yeah?
We've got the place to ourselves. Want to head to the bedroom?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're on the internet, you might accidentally or intentionally end up on a website that features pornography, sometimes called porn. Being curious about sex and looking at pictures or films of naked bodies or people engaging in sexual behaviors is perfectly normal. But you have to remember that porn contains some misleading messages, like bigger is better when it comes to breasts, penises, or the duration of sex.
Body language can say a lot if you're paying attention and respecting the other person's signals.
Feels good. Mine too?
Want to put it on for me?
Yeah, I can do that.
To some, being a virgin means never having had vaginal sex, but has nothing to do with whether or not they have engaged in other types of sexual activity. For example, someone might have had oral sex and still defines themselves as a virgin.
Next time I'm letting you pick. Fine.
Okay.
Do you want some water? Sure, but I think I want something else.
And what could that be?
I think you know.
Why don't you show me? Why don't you show me more?
Having sex or not having sex does not make someone a good or bad person.
What do you think of all that then? It's wrong in so many ways. It endorses underage premarital and homosexual sex. It endorses dangerous and degrading sexual practices. It normalizes pornography use. It promotes masturbation. It promotes transgender ideology. And all of this to school children. Now, as the Scottish Family Party, we've led the fight against this for years. The other parties, Greens, Lib Dems, Labour, SNP, they would all think this sort of material is absolutely fine. Reform, they're silent on it, apart from the transgender bit. All the rest of it, they seem to be quite happy with that. The Conservatives, they say we need to give parents more say. And so in other words, the Conservatives watch all of that material and then they think, oh, well, we'll just try and leave it to parents somehow. Try and outsource moral judgment to parents. But the Conservatives are not capable of exercising judgment themselves. Leave it to parents. Some parents might watch that and think, oh, that's absolutely brilliant. That's just what we want for our children. Typical Conservatives, they won't take the lead. Unprincipled. Now, if you want to find out about the sex education resources, there's a book you can download. You'll see a link below. Or you can look at our playlist on YouTube, Sex Education in Scotland, RSHP resources. So if you don't want sex education like this for your children, your grandchildren, for any child in Scotland, then please don't vote for it. We've led the campaign against the corruption of children. Please reward us with your vote on the peach-coloured ballot paper and vote for the Scottish Family Party. Thanks.